Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hivemind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Oh man, it continues. The fragmented left, the attacks, the disappointment, the vitriol towards Biden, and more specifically for this video, towards Kamala Harris from the rabid, radical left that lurk within the shadows, the deep shadows of Twitter. I don't know why I enjoy this so much. I don't know why it gives me a feeling of satisfaction, because it really shouldn't. Kinda sad, but there's just something about these lefties finally realizing on Twitter that they've been duped and they voted for the establishment in Joe Biden, which of course they knew, but they were hoping that Kamala Harris was going to be the counter-establishment progressive element towards his party. Talk about getting swindled. Talk about getting conned. She's more the establishment than Joe Biden could ever be. Kamala Harris plays the game of politics. That's just the way it is. She has a track record of doing exactly that, pretending to be progressive while being the core, the nucleus of all the issues progressives complain about, and her days as district attorney and attorney general are testament to that exact notion. She talks a whole lot about the justice system being corrupt and keeping people behind bars that don't deserve to be there, or disproportionately convicting minorities, when she was probably the worst offender of that exact idea. And so once again, folks, the rabid lefties on Twitter are losing their damn minds at the recent news cycle. Two specific stories involving Kamala Harris, and we gotta talk about this because, of course, one thing we gotta keep doing going forward is saying, I told you so. What did you expect? Surprise, surprise, surprise to no one. Lefties, it's time to wake up. So we're gonna do exactly that, but before we do, please make sure to leave a like, a comment, and subscribe. Share the video as much as possible. We are still shadow banned by the YouTube algorithm, hidden from non-subscribed viewers. And with that out of the way, let's roll the tape. Alright, so here's the main headline to give you guys some context. Kamala Harris, it is my hope and prayer to work across party lines. Alright, a little bit interesting, considering the leftist perspective of the opposing party lines is that they all belong in jail. Let's see how your rabid lefty fanatics reacted to that comment. Here's Mark Mucus. He says, prayer? Derp, I'm always disgusted when anyone babbles about prayer, even more so when it is an elected official that is presumed to be a leader. Interesting. The condescending, anti-Christian, atheist left doing exactly what you'd expect. This, my friends, represents the rabid left. You know, it's okay to not be religious, or even if you want to be an atheist, sure, but how about you don't be a prick about it. Religious people tend to be really good people, and one day you might want their prayer, or you might pray yourself. You know, there's a lot of people who get on their deathbed and in times of desperation end up resorting to prayer, and you might be one of those folk. But you guys get it. You've seen that from the left a million times. Here's another response. Might want to rethink that strategy since they are trying with Trump to overthrow your legitimate election. You don't need the GOP. Executive order. Remember? Question mark. Singing the same tune as Ilhan Omar from a couple weeks ago, that Biden should rule through executive order. Lefties, rabid lefties, far lefties have no intention to compromise. They want to rule. They don't want to negotiate, just like AOC said the other day with Jake Tapper.
Well, I'm going to be spending my next couple of months doing everything that I can to extend help and offer support to the work of fantastic leaders that we just heard from, like Stacey Abrams, to make sure that we don't have a Republican Senate majority, that we win these races in Georgia, that we secure a Democratic Senate majority so that we don't have to negotiate in that ways. And so, you know, these Senate runoff races, they're on January 5th, I believe, and that is right around the time that that we would be preparing to swear in now President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris. And I think it's really important that we all work very hard to give them a Democratic Senate as well.
They don't want to negotiate, folks. They want to rule. Check out this from Andrew the Artist. Working with Republicans that don't give a S about working with anyone or America except getting what their donors want passed. Little bit interesting, considering the most recent news cycle and considering what we know about Democrats as a whole. To pretend as if that's mutually exclusive towards Republicans just goes to show the brainwashing on the left. Regardless of what political side you are on, if you don't understand that politicians and the Washington crony elite work for corporate interest on both sides of the aisle, then you're fooling yourself, and you're voting for the exact evil that you rant about on Twitter. Counting on Karma says, please don't. They deserve a consequence for supporting him. They deserve a consequence? Listen, if they don't, the only person who's gonna have a consequence is you, because nothing's gonna get done. But don't worry about that. Nothing's gonna get done anyways. Question everything says, not if we get these 2 Senate seats. I feel they won't have a choice. It will make a big difference. Once again, they want absolute supreme reign. They want to control. They do not want any bipartisan action. They don't want to meet in the middle. That was just the first piece that got, of course, the Twitterati all fired up. Here's the next one. Gavin Newsom has appointed Alex Padilla to Kamala Harris's Senate seat, the first Latino to represent California in the US Senate. And here it goes. My friends, this is what identity politics gets you on the left. Alex Padilla is being appointed into Kamala Harris's Senate seat, and it's really important. It's a really big win for woke progressivism. Why? Because he's Latino. Oh, that must be a massive win, right? Identity politics from the left would dictate so. I mean, that's the whole reason they thought that they were getting a progressive with Kamala Harris. Well, womp womp womp. It turns out not to be the case. Turns out, voting for someone based on their identity doesn't exactly get you the policies that you want. Check this out. Patrick Bruck. Lol, Newsom picks Alex Padilla, who voted against Medicare for All on the platform to replace Kamala. Of course. Yep, of course. Told you so. Surprise, surprise, surprise to no one. If you guys didn't pay attention to what just happened with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who got stomped, absolutely destroyed on an anonymous vote within the Democrat Party, I think 46 votes to 13 in AOC's bid to join a committee position. If that doesn't wake you up to the fact that Democrats don't want Medicare for all, they don't want to end fracking, they don't want open borders, they don't want the new Green Deal, they don't want your radical democratic socialism, aka modern Marxism, modern communism, well, if you haven't figured that one out, well, you may want to start paying attention, folks. The writing's on the wall and it's been right in front of you since the start. But listen, it's time to seriously wake up, folks. Talk about Democrats, and more specifically far-left Democrats, in their push to rule in unaccountable fashion. We gotta talk about Georgia. Let's go back to the tweet that I read earlier. Not if we get the 2 Senate seats. I feel they won't have a choice. It will make a big difference. People need to seriously wake up. I did a poll on my Twitter feed the other day. Who do you think's gonna win in Georgia? And the option was 2-0 Democrat, 2-0 Republican, or a tie 1-1. The overwhelming majority of you guys think it's going to be a 2-0 landslide for the GOP. That's not the case. The Democrat machine is in full campaign mode, attack mode. They have a ridiculous amount of registered voters, a ridiculous amount of absentee ballots already being collected. And the worst part about it is that right now, polls are showing a dead heat in Georgia Senate runoff. This is not good. The worst thing that you can ever do is delude yourself and underestimate your opponent. Do not underestimate the Democrats. That will be your undoing. It's time to seriously wake up, because if the Democrats secure Georgia, or even if it's a tie in the Senate and the difference comes in from Kamala Harris's vote, we're talking about some serious political repercussions for generations to come. We're not talking about the status quo at that point. We're not talking about the establishment perpetuating the same old, same old. We're talking about radical shift, which will change the American system for decades to come. And so, like I keep saying, guys, pay attention and wake up. But it's not all doom and gloom. David Perdue is in fact making some gains on Ossoff, and the latest Trafalgar poll does show Perdue leading Ossoff by 3 points, and that's mainly due to Ossoff's biggest problem related to Ossoff's connection to the CCP and a couple businesses there in his business dealings. But still, pay attention, speak about it, push some enthusiasm, get it going, get the ball rolling. Because as much as the left is fragmented with leftist and Democrat establishment types and corporate Democrats, the right, well, not the right, but the GOP and the populist right are starting to become fragmented as well. Oh, and speaking of Democrats and their China problems, I just thought you guys might find these headlines interesting. Chinese state media urges Biden to hurry up and fix ties with communist regime. Biden advisors urge cooperation with China on space exploration. And it seems as though the Biden administration plans on being very buddy-buddy with a communist dictatorship that has trampled over human rights, polluted the globe, spread a pandemic, and played cheap, launched mass disinformation campaigns across the US and the Western world, infiltrated American business, stolen IP, has wreaked havoc in the West, and totally cheated their way to becoming an economic superpower. Seems as though, given all that, the Biden team plans on being buddy-buddy with them. And all the while, Biden is being soft on China. Those surrounded by them, those within the same geographic location, are panicking under a potential Biden administration. Taiwan has China at their doorstep, ready to invade. And Japan just approved a record $52 billion military budget to counter China. And all the while this is happening, Joe Biden says,
China is going to eat our lunch Come on, man.
That is supposedly the next president of the United States. Wake up, folks. So that's the video that I got for you guys today. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, share the video as much as possible. We are still shadow banned by the YouTube algorithm, hidden from non-subscribed viewers. Now I gotta get back to work. There's a whole lot of hypocrisy that must be exposed on a daily basis. So I'm gonna get to that. I wanna thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.